I wanted to talk, Curtis, because you brought it up.
Yeah.
About Bill Belichick on the Let's Go pod last night.
Yeah. So he was on with Jim Gray, and Jim Gray's just getting around Bill and Tom. I don't know who he loves more these days, but interesting conversation that we had during They Said It with Ted Johnson, talking about how much of the credit goes to the coaching staff. A very magnanimous Bill Belichick was on discussing this.
Players win games. You can't win games without good players. I don't care who the coach is. It's impossible. You can't win without good players. I found out when I had Taylor and Banks and Harry Carson, Pepper Johnson, Jim Burt, Everson Walls, all those guys at the Giants. And same thing, when we got good at Cleveland and then at New England. I mean, it's Brady, it's McGinnis, it's Vrabel, it's Brewski, it's Corey Dillon, it's Randy Moss, it's Troy Brown, Lawyer Malloy, Ty Law,
Wiggins.
Rodney Harrison. Those are the guys that won the games. Man, I didn't make any tackles. I didn't make any kicks. That was Vinatieri that made that kick in 4 inches of snow. You got to have good players. And as a coach, you want to give your players a chance to win. You want to put them in a position where if they go out there and play well, they'll have a chance to win. That's what Coach Parcells taught me is there's always a way to win. You just got to figure out what it is, and you have to give the players a chance.
They don't name it the Star Trophy. It's named the Lombardi Trophy.
Maybe they should name it the Brady Trophy. He won 7 of them.
Okay.
All right.
I'd be down with a name change.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the man already has what does he have? The AFC Championship MVP trophy. Tom Brady, was that given to him?
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no.
It should be the Super Bowl MVP, maybe? Because isn't Bill Russell the finals MVP? And then Larry Bird and Magic are, the A.
Did I dream that about Tom Brady?
I think you did.
Yeah.
I was like, that's breaking news.
You must be confused with the Bill Russell, Bird, and Magic.
And the All-Star Game
no,
MVP
Bird.
is Ted Williams.
Yes.
Bird recently got the
Eastern Conference MVP, correct?
I think so.
And
yes.
Magic gets and Magic Johnson is the Western Conference MVP, I believe. And then the Finals MVP, I believe, is Bill Russell.
Right. And the NHL gives out the Marchand Award to the one that had the biggest potential but failed.
Oh my gosh.
So then if
You have
he's out for Marchand.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe I'll do a 5-minute press conference about how he should lose his job.
Jeez.
Anyway, I thought this was great. I really did.
So then that means players at 90% of it and then coaches at 10%. In the world of Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ted was actually giving Bill more than he would give any other coach. I mean, he basically in that audio that we played from yesterday's show, Ted Johnson said that he doesn't give coaches any percentage of it. Am I right about that? I don't want to speak for him, but
yeah, he said that with Bill Belichick he gives 10%, whereas how many times would you give a coach 2, 4, 6, 8% at all?
At all.
So then I guess it would be 45% to Brady, the other 45% to the others, and then 10% to Bill?
Right. I would just say that Bill Belichick told Ian O'Connor that he could win with any top 15 quarterback. So this is a bit of revisionist history. But
you're throwing me for a loop. You keep changing. Like, it's clear the percentages that Ted said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what they are. Like, we've talked about it 10 times.
But I also said that
you keep throwing these weird numbers out. I can't follow you.
Well, because...
So what are you, Wiggy? If you had to do it with how would you, Jermaine Wiggins, allocate the percentages for the Patriots double dynasty?
We tried this earlier, but I'm up for trying it again.
I told you. I feel like, because I've seen plenty of teams that are talented but don't have the right coaching.
Yeah, but we're asking
right.
about very
asking
specific.
You.
All right.
As a part of the dynasty.
Okay.
The only one here that's won a Super Bowl.
As a part of the dynasty, I would say... I would say that the players on that team, we probably were. I'll agree with him.
Why is it so difficult?
Because it doesn't. Because I don't think you can separate.
Who are you afraid of offending?
No, I don't think you. Because I don't think.
I would be afraid of Willie McGinnis. I don't want to be on that guy's bad side.
No, I don't think you could separate the players from the coaches putting together a great game plan for those players.
Well, see, you give way more credit to coaching than Ted Johnson does.
Yeah, I give more credit to coaching than Ted does. That's why I said I feel like if you're going to say it is about having good players, but we've seen so many teams with good players, but they don't have the right coaching. But if you have the right coaching and were we a better team on paper than the Rams?
No, you were not.
But we were a better coach team.
So then you would give coaching more than the players.
That's what I said.
That's the brilliance. Curtis, cover your ears. That's the brilliance of Bill Belichick.
And that's what I said
That's why I disagree with Ted Johnson.
So don't I.
He deserves way more than 10% credit for the dynasty.
So how much would you give him?
I would give Bill like 50%.
Okay.
And then the players would be the other 50%.
You lump all the this is understandable,
Yeah.
and I think it often gets overlooked because people say Brady.
Right.
Like you, as a player who was a part of that,
Yeah.
would lump all the players in together.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially in the first 3 dynasties. The first 3 are the first 3 championships. Right.
Because Brady wasn't what Brady became.
Yeah,
Right.
Brady
That team was 5-13 without Brady as its quarterback.
No. I understand that, but Brady became. Would you say Brady carried the Patriots in the first 3 Super Bowls?
Yeah, you don't win those Super Bowls.
I didn't.
without Tom
I
Brady.
said, do you think?
No.
Right. So in the second,
I mean, the first one, you can't overlook Ty Law's interception, which he gives credit
Right,
to
but
Vrabel for.
Antoine Smith rushed for like 1,300 yards. We were a really good running team, and then when they got Corey Dillon, they were still. I would say that
If you flip the quarterbacks in the Super Bowl that you lost with the Panthers, who wins?
If you flip the quarterbacks, I would say Brady is a better quarterback than Jake Delhomme.
Daylight come, you got a delay.
Yeah, he's a better quarterback, but I think when you look at the first 3 Super Bowls, and I was only part of one, and Ty was part of all 3, and we talked to Ty, the first 3 were about playing great defense, running the football, and then having a quarterback that didn't make mistakes. The second 3 Super Bowls, I would give Brady more of a credit for that because he carried those teams.
Yes. When it comes to the dynasty, Texter points out you also give Joe Mazzulla 7% credit.
But no, I would lump the players in there. I mean, we have to catch the ball that Tom throws to us.
This is Tim from Hanover. Hey, Tim.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's up?
I would give the players 80% of it, and then the other 20% that's left goes to the coaching staff, which would probably get like 15%, and the other 5% would be the guys pulling the draft down and acquiring all the new guys that can make that team happen without 1 or 2 parts missing to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Wiggy would tell you differently, and he was actually there and a part of it. So
Right. Ted Johnson would tell you differently, and he was actually there and was a part of it.
True, yes.
Because I look at it, I've been on plenty of teams where the coaching stunk. And that affected us because they couldn't come up with the right game plan. They weren't putting us in the best possible position to be successful. That affected how we performed as a football team. Even though we might have a lot of talent, excuse me, if you don't put the talent in the right position as a coach or come up with a great game plan, it doesn't matter. And I've seen teams that had talent and the coaching wasn't great not do well. And I've been part of teams where we weren't as talented, but the coaching was better, and as players we bought into that and we performed.
Let me get Joe quick. Hey, Joe.
Hi, how you doing?
What's up?
Listen, so Belichick, they want to give him 10% of the credit. Kraft paid him $25 million a year for 10%. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, and he won Super Bowls, and he should get all the credit he deserves. But if he had gotten drafted by Cleveland back then and spent his career there, does he win 6 Super Bowls?
I don't know. He won 1 in his first year with the new team, and Bill Belichick has a decade
That
without
new team was better than Cleveland was. The new team was better than Cleveland.
The Bucks hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years.
Yeah, but Brady
they
was
won the
already
Super Bowl.
Brady.
Joe,
I don't care.
And Joe, I would ask you this. Why did Bill Belichick win
Can't
1
use that,
playoff
Curtis.
game in 10 years as a head coach without Tom Brady? Why?
Because he didn't have a good team.
Oh, who put the team together?
He did. Who put the Patriots together? Who drafted Tom Brady?
That would be Bill Belichick in the 6th round at 199.
Okay, I rest my case. So he knew what he was doing.
Case. Right. He knew it. Oh, yeah, he knew he was the greatest quarterback, and he passed him 5 times?
Curtis, what percentage do you give Bill Belichick when it comes to the dynasty?
I mean, I think he did a great job. I probably do 1.8%.
Oh.
No, I'm being serious. I would say 20% for Bill Belichick. I'll double Ted Johnson. Yeah.
Wow.
See, because
what people forget is because Tom Brady became the greatest quarterback, we view his performances in a different light. What Tom Brady did when he came in 01 was he removed the mistakes. He eliminated the interception, the back-breaking pick, the Bledsoe patting of the ball, getting focused on one receiver before getting sacked. He enabled that team to compete because of his ability to work within an offense and not make mistakes on a team that had a great defense. But if you look at those games and you go back, in hindsight, we can all say things. Bill Belichick was on the verge of losing his second job in his second year, if not for Mo Lewis. So we can all look back, and now we have the rest of the NFL showing us in living color what they think of Bill Belichick.
But going back, you can argue a billion different points. There are 90% of the coaches who would have given Drew Bledsoe his job back.
Right. If it's not for Bill, you might never know who the hell Tom Brady is, because if Bill doesn't say, you know what, after part of it is Mo Lewis, if Mo Lewis doesn't have the hit and Bill says, I'm going with Brady, where, like you said, 90% of the coaches would have went back to Drew.
Who gave Drew Bledsoe a $100 million deal?
No, the team, but Curtis.
Who was on the team? Who was the head coach?
Listen.
Was that done before Bill got here?
No.
Parcells drafted him.
I can't really remember. It was right in the 90. I want to say that was the 2000 season or something like that. But the point is, because people always have this discussion.
In March of 2001
is when they signed Bledsoe.
Signed a 10-year, $100 million contract. Belichick was hired the month before.
Right. So it was a Kraft thing. So Kraft gave him that money. Right. But the thing is,
I love where we allocate bad decisions and good decisions.
No, but that was definitely a Kraft decision.
Okay.
But we don't know what Brady would have been without Belichick.
If he goes to Cleveland, it was all innate.
If he goes to Cleveland,
that Tom Brady learned nothing from Bill Belichick.
I think Brady's a great quarterback.
What we've seen is when they're separated, one's great, the other's out of the league.
Curtis, you cannot do that, because when Brady was separated from Belichick, he had became this god of quarterbacks.
How many Super Bowls did Belichick win as a head coach before Brady was there?
Let me ask you this question, because the caller makes a great point. If he's drafted by the Cleveland Browns, are we still talking about Tom Brady as is?
No.
I don't know.
I agree with you, Courtney.
But I can tell you for a fact that Belichick would never be known as a great coach.
And I listen, I agree that if Bill Belichick doesn't put Tom Brady in and stick with Tom Brady, he's probably not the same Bill Belichick.
And I think they both know that.
Wait, can we just finish the Bledsoe thing quickly? They traded first-round picks for Bill Belichick to get him from the Jets to be the head coach of the Patriots. Bill Parcells and Robert Kraft had a falling out about shopping for the groceries.
Yes.
Do we honestly think that Bill Belichick gets that haul of picks to the Jets, he comes to the Patriots, and he and Robert Kraft disagree on the signing of their franchise quarterback to a $100 million deal?
No, I don't think they disagree, but I think...
So then don't say it's Kraft.
He even had probably had very little say in the matter. He's a month into the job.
Right.
No, but the whole purpose of his hiring
was
was
they just negotiated the deal in a week? I mean,
what are you talking about, Greg?
They've been talking about the deal for 6 months.
Right.
Before he was there.
Right.
I don't think it takes 6 months to negotiate a deal.
How long do you think it takes to do a $100 million deal, Professor?
Long enough to know, Greg, if you want to be condescending, that Bill Belichick was hired. There's no way they give that haul to Bill Belichick if he's not on board with the quarterback. It's nonsense.
So as a new head coach, Bill could walk in and in a week be like, we're not doing this deal with Drew Bledsoe.
Yes, because the team just gave up all that haul.
Listen, that just sounds dumb. Bledsoe,
you wouldn't let Bill get away with not wanting Mac Jones anymore, 30 years into it.
At that point in time, Bledsoe was known to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So when Bill gets here, he's inheriting a guy that, in the opinion of the NFL and the owner, is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
He was the first overall pick.
Right. And the owner's saying, hey, listen.
I like when I do the high voice thing.
Yeah, me too.
The owner, Robert Kraft, is making the decision and going, I'm giving Bledsoe this money. Like, I don't think he's saying to Bill, if you don't agree with it, well, then we won't do it. Like, Robert Kraft made the decision before Bill got here to give Bledsoe that money because Bledsoe at that time was a franchise quarterback.
I think in order to only give him 10%, you have to overlook a lot of things that he was able to do when it came to players like Ted Johnson.
You have to not like him.
Or like Rob Ninkovich, or guys like Wes Welker who were meh, or a little above meh.
He was
elsewhere,
meh in Miami.
Became
yes
what they became here. Doing a large part to Bill Belichick.
Because Bill, this is why I give credit to Bill. Because Bill, like a Wes Welker, Bill goes, I'm going to use you as a slot guy, and I'm going to use you similar to the way I used Troy Brown and the way Charlie Weiss and Parcells used Wayne Corbett when he was with the Jets, and I was there with Wayne Corbett. Rather than another team going, hey, Wes, you're going to come here, and you're going to do what Terrell Owens does. No, that's why Bill was able to make guys like Danny Woodhead, because he wasn't one of those coaches, and this is why I give him credit. He wasn't one of those coaches that said, okay, you're going to have to fit into what we do.
The new head coach is a great example of it. Guy was a special teams player before he got here.
Bill says, we're going to take what you do well, and that's what we're going to use you in that role as.
And the development of Mike Vrabel as a player has, no disrespect to the guy, but has nothing to do with Tom Brady.
Listen, I think that Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. I think he's the GOAT. I played with him. I just don't think that if he's drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 6th round, he's what we see now.
This is Steven. Hello, Steven.
Hey, I've been trying to get this for a while now. I got Rob Parker. I believe Curtis is the reincarnation of Rob Parker, except with Belichick. Because it's like Belichick's the greatest coach ever. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback. Both can exist. Thank you.
Great call.
What is the Rob Parker? Is that what reference is that?
He's a guy on Fox Sports who was like, I'll move to Mexico if the Patriots win, and then they kept winning and he never moved.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns was Chris Palmer. I mean, you think Brady's Brady for playing for a guy like that when his
Wiggy, why don't we just stick with the facts? If the Patriots continue on that track and Mo Lewis doesn't hit Drew Bledsoe, Bill Belichick is fired and likely to
Stop!
Said that. Can I finish the sentence?
That, though. But you don't listen. Your dumbass doesn't listen. I said...
Wait a minute. You see what happens is we get personal. It's okay.
I'm not getting personal.
Dumbass isn't personal?
No, dumbass is not a personal thing. It's like an observation. It's like, you're a moron.
One day we'll finish the percentages. We'll add it up to 100.
No, but if you listen, I said that if what made...
You agreed with the Mo
Lewis thing. If Bill didn't put Brady in, he probably is not what we see. So I agree with you on him making the decision to stick with Brady.
We have evidence of Brady without Bill. We have evidence of Bill without Brady. One would have been out of a job. A great coordinator.
My point is that Bill made the best decision of his life to play Brady because Brady worked out for him.
Correct.
So, but Brady also was in a great position because he was drafted by Belichick. I agree. You make it sound like...
But let me just finish here. Did anybody think when the Patriots played the Colts in Week 3 of the 2001 season that Tom Brady was entering a great situation?
No.
That was the dregs of the league. So the notion that he was there and was elevated as opposed to elevating is rewriting history.
But no, I was there. That's the point. You don't understand.
You were 5 and 13.
No, I was there.
8 games. You lost to the Bengals and the Jets.
I was there. Yes,
1
Curtis,
and 2.
I was there. And let me tell you something. If Tom Brady gets drafted in the 6th round by the Cleveland Browns,
he would not be the Tom Brady.
He is not. Listen, no, I think he's a great quarterback, but he's not the same Tom Brady. Yeah. Curtis is saying it wouldn't matter who drafted him because he then goes, Look what he did when he went to Tampa.
That's the point that you're upset
But
about.
yes, because when he goes to Tampa, he's already
made.
Yeah, he's already this made.
He's already the GOAT.
He's already the quarterback.
He'd already been goated.